Good YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to you all with that analysis on analysisplayground.com and YouTube. We gonna talk about the Milwaukee Bucks and how they should expect to be great this season, and this is what to expect series. And they still got Giannis Antetokounmpo. They was able to lock him down for a couple more years, and they was able to add video game Dame, and they still have a solid rotation to still be a competitive enough to be a contender in the Eastern Conference and in the NBA in general. As long as you have Giannis, you have a shot. This guy is unstoppable going to the rim. He's a physical freak. That's why they call him the Greek freak for a reason. And he's just intimidating just because he is fearless with his style of play. And as long as they can continue to have him healthy, they have a shot to beat anybody as long as they're healthy. And that's something that we all know. That's something that we all see. Their roster has changed drastically, adding more shooting and more space into this team. And I think that that's something to do, especially when your best player likes to finish at the rim. It's smart to have more shooting so that way he can get more running lanes and more cutting lanes and more ability to post up if he wants to, even though he's not that great at it. He still has his little fadeaway shot now. He's still showing you that he has been putting in work to add more to his game in the mid range and in the post area. And that more versatility just makes it harder for him to be stopped. And you look at the fact that they got Pat Connaughton. He's still a solid player. He's a guy that got a little athleticism and can shoot the ball and plays really hard and understands his role real well with a team like the Bucks. You got AJ Green, who they just got. He's going to be interesting to see, can he really defend? Can he really be a difference maker? Can he really be a guy that's going to even get minutes in general? That's going to be interesting to watch. We look at Andre Jackson out of UConn. He's going to be a guy that fits that mold of we have a lot of players like this, but we still need depth just in case somebody get injured, and we need people to be able to come in and be next man up mentality. And we're going to see if he even going to play 15 to 10 minutes a game, which I see him not really doing right now. Then we look at Damian Lillard. He came to a contender. He got tired of missing the playoffs. He got tired of putting in all that work to have nothing really at the end of the season. So he joins a team that has a potential chance of him making the NBA Finals. With him and Giannis, that's one of the best scoring offensive duos in the league. Obviously, Damian Lillard has never been a great defender. Obviously, he is a guy that is a closer, being one of the clutchest players in the league, being able to keep the defense off balance with his ability to drive, float, and finish, and his ability to be able to read the defense at the top of the key, knowing what to do and what not to do, and just being a dynamic guy offensively made him one of the toughest covers in NBA history, and that's why he's top 75. This guy is hard to guard. Same with Giannis. They understand how to step up when it matters most. They know how to take over when it matters most, and it's good when you have two of those players to build around like they do. And it's just going to be interesting to see what they do when they're healthy, especially in the playoffs since they wasn't healthy this year. Chris Livingston is another guy that I don't really see him getting that many minutes this year. He is going to be a guy that's going to be tough and give them some sturdiness and give them some tackle ability when it comes to getting under screens and fighting under those screens to keep in front of the guard play. You need some defensive type of guys too. I feel like he can be that type of guy. Brook Lopez has been a little older, but he still has the length and the size, and he still does have the strength to play the center position. He still does provide that spacing and semi post up ability. He's a little slower, takes him a little bit more time, but he still gets it done. And I think that the days of him being a starter is starting to dwindle a little bit, but he's still holding on to the ability to be one. I like what I have seen out of him, but he is and has been on a decline as the league is getting more athletic, as the team continues to get older. It's going to be tough for him and a guy like Chris Middleton to guard these younger forwards and centers because they're going to be blazing quick. but Chris Middleton still is a guy that can have big games, as we've seen even in the playoffs. He's still a guy that can make big shots. He still is a guy that can create his own shot, and he also a guy that can create shot for others. He's just a do-it-all type of forward. Even though he's been injured lately a lot the last couple seasons, and that really hurted how they finished in the regular season, and it really hurt how they play in the playoffs because he has missed some playoff games too the last couple years. And you just can't afford for that to happen if you try to have these last hurrahs as a championship team still. But it's still great to have him on your roster because he's still one of the best players in the league when healthy. And that's something that none of us would dispute, but it is something that shows you how important health is and how important taking things more serious as you get older allow you to age more gracefully. And he hasn't really been able to do that because he hasn't been able to stay on the court. Then you got Bobby Portis. Big Bobby has been essential to the Bucks culture the last couple years. His ability to hit the mid range, he's been able to change his game enough to hit the three. He also can finish hard, going to the basket with dunks. He also can finesse it. He's also a solid free throw shooter. So Bobby Portis also is a great rebounder. Comes off the bench and gets almost a double double as a big, and he also is a guy that can get double figures offensively, scoring the ball in the minutes that he gets. And he's only 29 years old. People think Bobby Portis is in his 30s or Bobby Portis is old. He's not. He's only 29. He still has the energy. He still has the ability to want to come in and be a difference maker. He has the spark in his brain of how to take over games and how to be a guy that's self-efficient. And he does everything, even if you throw him the ball or not, he still can contribute on the court. And that's something that you don't really see too much out of role players. And that's why you always see Bobby Portis in the 6 man of the year conversation because he just became elite off knowing exactly what he needs to do and how to play his game efficiently off the bench. And that's something that's very, very valuable for any team. And that's why the Bucks love the fact that they have him locked up under contract for a couple more years. Torian Prince, he's a solid forward that can hit the three and defend. He's going to be a guy that can stay in front of guys. He's going to be a guy that's going to give you some intensity too. And he's going to be a guy that's going to be able to be in those corners, being able to space the floor for guys like Giannis and Bobby Portis and Chris Middleton when they try to go isolation or one-on-one or they try to play in the post a little bit. He's going to allow them to be able to do that without getting hit with a double team or trap because you do have to respect his ability to make shots as a catch and shoot guy. Other than that, you got Gary Trent Jr., who's one of their biggest signings. He's 25 years old. He's an offensive juggernaut type of guy where he can come in, he can create his own shot, he can use his handles, he can finish, he can shoot the three, he can shoot the mid-range, he can shoot the free throw. He's a guy that you can give the ball to and trust him to make shots without having to give it back up. He's a very solid scoring type of guy, and they needed somebody like that can make their own shot and still be able to pass it to Giannis, pass it to Dame, pass it to Middleton and Lopez and let them create their own shot or play as finishers, including Portis. So I think that he's going to be essential to what they do just because he's a guy that finally can create his own shot at the guard position and still be able to be a catch and shoot guy at the same time. And I think that that's something they needed. And he's also a guy that can get out in transition and finish with ease. And I think that that's something that's going to make the offense a lot better. And the fact that he can get hot too from three also gives them a chance to be a lot better offensively than they usually are. And the fact that they actually need shooters, and he's one of them, I think that that's something they can look forward to having on their roster when the season starts. And then DeLon Wright, another guard that can score. I think him and Gary Trent going to get the bulk of the minutes outside of Marjan because they're the most NBA prepared and they're the best offensive weapons they can get at that position while not giving up too much defensively. Even though Gary Trent and DeLon ain't the greatest defenders or great defenders, they still have the body and the size to be competitive at that position defensively, and their offense is just going to be better because Giannis and Brook Lopez is going to be in the paint anyway, making things ugly, making things tough, and staying in the way and mucking up that paint. So it's going to be easier on them anyway to be solid defenders on the perimeter because they always got somebody behind their back that's trying to contort and contest shots and block shots also. So I think that that's really important. I think that that really matters. That you know that if you on this roster, you got guys that can help you out and guys that can make your job easier, and you can make their job easier just by making shots and creating shots. And I think that that's something that balances out for the Bucks in general and make their job easier. At the end of the day. So when we look at the Milwaukee Bucks, what I expect from them is to be a top four team in the NBA, not just the Eastern Conference. I expect Giannis and Dame, if they can stay healthy, to be one of the toughest duos and hardest duos to guard, and also one of the best duos in the game. The better they play, the easier it is on their teammates, the easier their shots going to be, the easier it is going to be able to play defense. And I feel like if they can do it that way and come in and start off strong, they're going to be ability to have a record that's close to the Celtics. So we're looking at about 55 to 57 to 58 wins. I definitely think the Bucks can do that. They had 49 wins last year, with Giannis missing about the last couple of games and Dame not being fully healthy, and they still was almost at 50 plus wins. I think that their team has gotten better offensively, and I feel like Giannis and Brook is going to have to just dominate more defensively. And if they're able to do that with a little bit more Middleton sprinkled in there, they should be a high level, playoff team. So I think that Giannis is going to be in the MVP conversation. He's going to be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. Same with Brook Lopez. I feel like Middleton is going to be averaging less points but being more healthier, and that's something that he don't have to do as much. He don't have to work as hard offensively because he had other guys that can help him out on the court. I think that that's going to be important for their health, and that's going to allow them to have a better finish. And I think that that's going to be able to help them have a better playoff run too, if they can be able to stay healthy and be more prepared for any type of team that they play against, because I feel like they match up good against any team in the Eastern Conference. And I just feel like Giannis just got to be on the floor for them to feel like they can beat anybody. Because if you got one of the best players in the league, especially one of the top five players in the league, when healthy, you got a shot to be able to beat anybody. It's just a team. The guys to be real great to beat a team like the Celtics, because they have guys that can match up well and defend well and play well and take over games, and so do the Bucks too. So I think Bucks finish at number 2 this year, and I feel like it's just because they have everything they need. Now they just got to be able to play, and that's it. So that's my what to expect on the Bucks. One of the best teams in the league, one of the best defensive teams, one of the best offensive teams in the league, and Giannis is unstoppable. He averaged 30 the last 2 years, so I can continue to see that happening. Just a little bit more playmaking and a lot more defense is all I'm asking Giannis to do for this team to play a lot better on paper and on the court. And to be honest, comment, like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification bell for more analysis. Don't forget that if you're new to the channel, check out my older videos, because if you like videos like this and you like videos about basketball in general, whether it's a tribute or breakdowns to the legends or current legends and current players, I have those on the channel also. So don't forget to check that out. And if you've been subscribed to the channel for a while, you might missed out on some videos that I put out. I put out a lot of videos on this channel, so it's a great possibility that you missed what I put out. And if you have, all I can do is tell you to go back and watch my older videos too, and or check the channel for older videos that you might miss that you're interested in. And that's what I can tell you to do. But I'm telling you, you won't regret it, because you like this type of content. I got plenty of it, and I think you guys will enjoy it like you seem like you always do. It's classic material on this channel, and I think you guys already know that. That's why you stay subscribed and you stay watching. Other than that, I'm gone. Let me know what you guys think about this Bucks team this year.